There is an island in the summer sea, a place so peaceful it does not believe in war. No armies, no conquest, no steel. And from that paradise came a girl in chains. Her name was Missandei of Naath. She spoke 19 languages. She survived slavery. She stood beside a dragon queen. And yet, in the end, she died in a city that was never her home. This is the tragic story of Missandei. Missandei was born on the island of Naath, a place they called the Isle of Butterflies. One of its creation myths says the Lord of Harmony, weary of the world's noise, wove the island from threads of moonlight and sea salt. Another, darker tale claims the first settlers were refugees from a brutal, forgotten war, who made a blood pact with the island itself to find peace. Their oldest legends say, to spill blood on Naath is to silence the music of the world. They worship the Lord of Harmony, believing all life is sacred. They eat fruit, not flesh. They make music, not war. Once a year, during the festival of the silent song, the entire island ceases all speech and music. Instead, they weave intricate tapestries from fallen leaves and shed butterfly wings, a ceremony to honor the quiet voice of their god. To the people of Naath, butterflies are sacred. One legend whispers, beware the 1,000-year butterflies, whose wings are the color of sunset and dusk. They are the Lord's gentle executioners, bringing not a sword, but a fevered, dancing death to all who would claim our home with violence. This plague, the butterfly fever, is a magical defense that has kept Naath safe for centuries. And yet, this protection has its limits. Slavers learned to strike at night. When the butterflies slept, they saw not a culture, but a commodity, and paradise was broken. Missandei was stolen as a child, not because she did anything wrong, but because Naath's passive defense could not stop a swift and brutal raid. The very magic that guarded their home also created a vulnerability. She was just a little girl when her world was shattered, her innocence ripped away and replaced with the cold iron of shackles. From there, Missandei was sold into Slaver's Bay and became property in Astapor, but her captors saw something rare in her. She was brilliant, so they trained her, educated her, and forced her to learn language after language, High Valyrian, Giscari, the common tongue, 16 more besides. 19 in total. Her mind became her tool for survival. Imagine that for a moment. A child from a peaceful island, forced to learn the languages of conquerors and slavers, not to rule, but to serve. Her gift was twisted into a weapon against her own kind. She translated cruelty. She translated commands. She translated the very words that kept people in chains. She became a silent witness to endless brutality, her own voice buried under the weight of others' words. Until one day, she translated for a young silver-haired queen who would change everything. When Missandei first met Daenerys Targaryen, she stood beside her master Krasny's Monaklos, a slave translating his stream of insults and vile propositions. But what Krasny's didn't know was that Daenerys understood every word of High Valyrian. She was listening. She was waiting. And when Daenerys turned and burned him alive with dragonfire, the world shifted on its axis. In the aftermath, Missandei was offered something she had never been given before, a choice. Daenerys looked at her and said, "Stay or go," as a free woman, and Missandei chose to stay, not as a slave, but as a free woman. That single choice defines her entire character. She didn't follow Daenerys because she was forced to, she followed her because she believed in her. Over time, she became more than an advisor, she became the queen's conscience. She was the calm voice in the storm, the quiet reminder of why they were fighting in the first place, not for power, but for freedom. In a world filled with betrayal and violence, Missandei found something impossibly rare: love. Her connection with Grey Worm, the stoic commander of the Unsullied, was one of the most beautiful and heartbreaking stories in the entire saga. He was a soldier who had also been stripped of everything: his home, his name, his very identity. Together, these two souls, broken by the world in different ways, found a way to become whole again. They spoke about dreams, about a future beyond the endless wars. And Missandei's dream was simple. She wanted to go home, back to Naath. She wanted to walk the peaceful beaches again, to feel the sun on her skin without fear. She didn't dream of thrones or glory. She dreamed of peace. And Grey Worm, the man who had only ever known battle, promised her, "We will go to Naath." For a moment, it felt like war might actually end with something beautiful. It was a fragile seed of hope planted in scorched earth. But hope is a fragile thing in Westeros. During a naval ambush by Euron Greyjoy's fleet, Missandei was captured. She was chained once more, this time by Cersei Lannister. The same girl who had escaped slavery, who had stood tall as a queen's advisor, was now a prisoner on the walls of King's Landing, a pawn in a brutal Game of Thrones. And Daenerys watched, powerless, as her friend stood on the precipice of death. Cersei gave her a chance for last words. Missandei looked at her queen, her friend, the woman she had chosen to follow. There were no tears, no pleading, no begging for her life. Only strength, only fire, and a single word: Dracarys burned them. It wasn't just a cry for revenge, it was a final act of belief in her queen's power. She died choosing fire. And in that moment, Daenerys lost her last anchor to her better self. Some say the burning of King's Landing began not with the tolling of a bell, but with the silence that followed Missandei's fall. Now, just imagine a different world. If Missandei had survived, if she and Grey Worm had actually made it, Imagine them sailing away from the ashes of Westeros across the summer sea. Back to Naath. Imagine the Unsullied, the world's greatest soldiers, not conquering, but protecting. Peace, finally protected by strength. Picture Missandei no longer translating commands for slavers, but teaching languages to the children of her homeland, opening their minds to the world beyond their shores. A former slave building schools instead of watching cities burn. Naath would no longer be vulnerable. Paradise finally guarded, she would have become something incredibly powerful. Not a queen, not a conqueror, but a bridge between worlds. A living testament that strength does not always have to roar. Sometimes, it whispers in 19 different languages. Missandei of Naath never wanted power. She just wanted to go home. In a story filled with ambition, dragons, and endless bloodshed, she remained a symbol of gentleness and loyalty. And maybe that's why her death hurts more than most. Because when she fell from that wall, the last piece of innocence in Daenerys Targaryen fell with her. The dream of a better world turned to ash, butterflies turning to dust, and somewhere, far away in the summer sea, a peaceful island still waits, its shores unguarded, forever remembering the girl who spoke for queens but never made it home. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please consider liking and subscribing for more deep dives into the worlds we love.